Well, what do we have here? Tizzy and Dinesh got it wrong. The Sarah Comrie incident, the city bike Karen, the racist that you claim she was, stealing young black men's bikes. Well, let's trim the bullshit and get to the facts, shall we? Now, the sister of the man in question, who ironically is wearing a shirt that says childish, has come out in defense of her brother and shown receipts. Well, let's take a good fucking hard look at these receipts. As you can see, her brother had rented that particular bike at 6:33 p.m. He rode to where the incident took place and got there at 7:19, docking the bike. Now, when we look at Sarah Comrie's receipt, you can see that the bike was taken out at 7:24 p.m. and redocked at 7:25 p.m. That is in the footage where the young man pushes the bike back into the dock. Now, in the sister's receipt, you can see that the young man takes the bike out at 7:25, doesn't take it anywhere, and redocks it at 7:33 p.m. Now, I've spoken to some of these social justice warriors who were like, did you see TizzyEnt's video? He really blew it out of the water. He proved that Sarah Comrie wasn't lying. It's in the receipts. Now, Tizzy's saying that, oh, he needed the bike to get back to where he came from. Clearly wasn't true. He didn't take it anywhere. It's in the receipts. It's clear that he was just entitled and didn't want her to have the bike. Now, TizzyEnt broke this down for us. I don't even have to do a lot of work here. Here's Tizzy's video.
I believe that that young man genuinely believes he rented that bike. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, she believes that as well. One of them is mistaken. Maybe the app messed up, assigned it to both of them. But let's say going into this, they both honestly believe that is their bike. His way of dealing with this is to say, this is my bike. I rented this bike. And he has the app open on his phone to show that he rented this bike. In fact, it looks like sometimes he even just trying to show her on the phone that he rented this bike.
He has the app open on his phone because he forced the bike back into the slot and scanned it, you fucking idiot. He was also on the Young Turks, and this chick is fucking wild. You must think we're all fucking stupid.
Tizzy, why wouldn't they? This is America. Look at your life, America, okay? It seems pretty clear, but there's this mountain of evidence that black youth, black boys, black young men have to climb, it seems, when a certain type, persuasion points the finger. What say you?
Have you idiots at the Young Turks not learnt your fucking lesson? Dr. Rashad Ritchie just fucking apologized for doing this shit.
And once again, my apologies to Ms. Comrie. At least we know that you had a good faith reason to believe you had access to that rented bike.
And you're there all like, this is America. It's obvious what happened. They released the fucking video. She didn't release the video. What part of that are you not understanding?
Been a part of this story since the beginning. I've been talking to his sister since last week. And that is the issue. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else. I can only say myself. I made a video initially about that video, and it had nothing to do with a stolen bike. I didn't care about a stolen bike. That was not what I saw that alarmed me. What I saw that alarmed me was the response to him, her screaming help like that, and pointing out, this is dangerous. This gets young black men killed, a la Emmett Till.
Emmett Till was murdered in 1955, you fucking idiot.
Don't do this. And then receipts came and a narrative came and a press push came that vilified him. And suddenly he was a thug and he was a thief and he and his friends were intimidating a young pregnant woman. And no one bothered to talk about the fact that he was a 17-year-old high school kid who acted more like an adult in that video, in my opinion, than she did. And then, like he said, no one was sharing his story. No one was being a voice for him.
Have I died and landed in the fucking Twilight Zone? Those guys were the ones who released the fucking video. She didn't release the video.
It seemed. And then now we have his receipts and we have his, words about what happened. What's crazy to me is that's what we have from both sides of this. We have receipts and we have a claim of how it went down, and we have receipts and we have a claim of how it went down. One is not more or less believable than the other. I personally see enough of his story that makes sense.
So according to Tizzy, what makes sense is that a 6-month pregnant nurse, out of the fucking blue, just after a 12-hour shift, decided to dive over a bunch of black teenagers to take a bike when there were plenty of other bikes there. Not that she already had the bike, had already taken it out, and he came over and said, no, this is my bike, because he felt entitled. Now, that makes a lot of sense, Tizzy.
Than I do with the other. Yet there's a whole group of people I've seen who took her word as gospel and say he is a liar automatically before they've even really reviewed anything, while she is literally paying PR firms to put out op-ed pieces. And I'm assuming she's paying them, because why else is that happening? But there was a piece in USA Today that was an op-ed piece by a man who works and founded Proven Media Solutions, painting a picture that she has been vilified falsely, etc. And I understand that it's damage control and it's something to try and help with her appearance in the media and so forth, and to save her job. That's why she has an employment attorney. But whether on purpose or not, it makes that young man collateral damage.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better. And that's the truth. What you just laid out are a series of facts.
What fucking drugs are you on? It's not beautiful and the truth and facts. This fucking idiot, TizzyEnt, and that Dinesh guy tried to get this woman fired. They've been doing this shit for 3 fucking years. None of us are getting paid. Here's the proof.
I have an update on City Bike Karen, and I don't think you're going to like this update because her job, Bellevue, put out another post today that stressed that the healthcare provider, Sarah, was off duty and away from campus. Don't try to run away from this, Bellevue. She was very much wearing her outfit, and we saw the badge that said Bellevue on it in the video. It's very clear she's representing your company. Stop trying to inch away from this. You can't. If you want to make yourself look good, do the right thing. Not put her on leave. Is that paid leave? Let me remind you that she tried to have a black man killed over a bike.
So this hero who went on the Young Turks, TizzyEnt, a hero to black people, he went after a black lesbian woman a little while ago, and he tried to disguise his voice, and someone pitch corrected it. Here's the video. Yikes.
Let's address the culprit, the individual responsible for the year-long drama. If you're looking at this picture, doesn't she look familiar? This is the same individual who played in Tales from the Hood. It's not the Terror Dome, neither. All the drama. Lonely, lesbian, with mother and father issues. Letting white people do your bidding, I see. Well, guess what? It ends now. For you are now the target. All of your information, to include your social security number, has been plastered across multiple social media outlets.
Yeah, that's Tizzy admitting to doxing a black lesbian woman. There you go.
You are the type of person who wants to be Angelica from Rugrats. Sit back and let everyone do all the bidding. Let them get in trouble.
Do you see how stupid you all are? Do you see that now? For following TizzyEnt, for following Dinesh? Now, all of you who have been involved on running smear campaigns on people for the last 3 years, you might be getting your asses sued. Do you see we weren't mucking around? Now, as for people saying, well, she was screaming for help, what would you do if you're a 6-month pregnant woman who's just finished a shift, a 12-hour shift at work, and 5 young men come up to you and try and take a bike off you that you just rented? What do you think your reaction might be? Considering that there's a bike scam going around New York City where people do that. They steal the bike off you just after you've rented it, and it costs you $1,200. Do you think maybe you might be scared and you might call for help and you might cry? Do you think that's a possibility? This is why I always say to people, don't overreact to things you see online because you don't know the story. Now the truth has come out. All these media companies are like, well, we just give opinions now. This is not facts. Because they're trying to avoid getting their asses sued for defamation. That's why. Now, Dinesh and TizzyEnt have been doing this shit for 3 years, running smear campaigns on people. Now, this Sarah Comrie thing came up at a perfect time because this lawsuit they've been working on for over a year now was just about to drop. And now Dinesh has got some media coverage. So now that this lawsuit's being filed against him and TikTok, we're getting some nice juicy coverage. Thanks, Dinesh. Now, we've all had to keep this very tight-lipped, and the reason why is we did not want him to find out that he was getting served. Now, this is because we were worried that he was going to flee back to California and hide out in one of his parents' rental properties. Now, Dinesh has been going around telling everybody for the last couple of months that he left Pennsylvania. Guess where he was served? He'd never left. He's still lying to all of you. This is how dumb his supporters are. Trolling and harassing people online because he's told you to do it. Aren't you stupid? And we know who you are. All these online accounts have been preserved. If you've been in direct contact with Dinesh, we know who you are. Do you understand? Do you understand the trouble you're in? Now, all this shit's going to be brought out in Discovery, so enjoy that. Doing these videos sometimes makes me want to smash my fucking head up against the wall. The media in America lie and race bait constantly. They're creating problems where there really shouldn't be problems. Now, these kids uploaded that video, and I don't even necessarily blame them. You know, they're just kids being kids, right? Now, the whole reason this is at the forefront of any conversation is because of TizzyEnt. And because of that Dinesh guy, because they tried to get this woman fired, like they have multiple other people. And everybody's just fucking sick of it. This is why. There's not some fucking white supremacy cult coming after them. They do this all the time. They run smear campaigns on them. Now, TizzyEnt, he's made this video.
This is Sarah Jane Comrie's attorney. He specializes in employment law.
He's that fucking stupid. He thinks Justin Monroe is coming after him. No, that's Patrick Trainer and 3 other lawyers. Good luck, dickheads.